We open on silvery streams of pale moonlight. They pierce the foliage of the forest, and they glint off the wood of the long, barrel-like structure that makes up the Everhunt Lodge. The path leading down through the bushes and rocks into the main road, the tradeway, is unoccupied. Carriages and horses, well, more than usual, are tied up outside this place at night. But only one figure really seems active outside. Things haven't quite gotten underway yet. Car 10, you've been keeping watch, more or less, outside the building, the path especially up from the tradeway for any more activity. When you see what looks like one final cart pulled by a sinewy old mule of a horse to the end of the path to the little gate that leads up that road to the lodge. A figure steps out of it. She stops and she shrugs her shoulders, stretching them from the long carriage ride, pulling up a heavy bag to herself and brushing down her brown dress. As she pushes up the path towards you, getting closer into view, you can see the wrinkles of a life lived and adventure in her face, her gray-white hair curled up into a bun at the top of her head. And she stops, her brownish gray eyes kind of looking at you curiously.
My eyes light up so that my face becomes more visible. Identify yourself.
You're new. My name is Charlotte. Charlotte Price. I came here to give my regards to an old friend.
Who is your old friend?
His name was Jensen.
His eyes narrow into his little pins when he hears Jensen's voice. Jensen was my friend too. Please, come. And he walks over. Yeah, he walks over and he'll try to help her guide the mule.
She was just getting dropped off by somebody.
Oh, okay.
So she's just walking up on her own. She lets you kind of guide her back to the lodge. You can tell as she's walking that she's pretty confident in the direction she's going. She's probably been here before.
Gotcha.
And as you reach the door into the lodge and you lead her inside, the lodge itself, its nooks and crannies are packed with members of the hunting order. Members of, well, family and friends that Jensen had met in the past, cohorts in his adventures. All of this bustling but subdued activity, these quiet conversations and low voices are centered around the long table, which has been dressed and has Jensen's body laid out, dressed up and cleaned on it. A monster hunter, a friend, a man who made a sacrifice. Charlotte kind of stops at the doorway as you lead her in, and she smiles as she sets her eyes on those of you that she recognizes. And what are all of you doing at this time as you're waiting for the proceedings to start? She'll nod her head and she'll kind of reach out and she'll like softly squeeze on the nook of your shoulder and she'll nod. I'm glad you sent your letter, and I got here in time.
Well, it should be rather soon, I think. It's good. We should meet everyone.
Yeah. She'll kind of step in to those of you that are there, and over by closer to the body, you guys can see Cyril, who is the guy who kind of ran the lodge, and Chafari, who is the weapons keeper. Chafari has the sword and scabbard kind of off to the side, and some other possessions. And Cyril is laying things out, getting ready to get started. Everyone there working at the lodge, making sure that everyone's glasses are topped off basically at all times. Maximilian, dapper as ever.
Miss Charlotte, wonderful to see you again.
She'll nod her head and she'll say, I hope you've been able to make some progress in your research.
Oh yes, here and there. You know how research goes.
Unfortunately, I do. Or at least had the time to put on a little show in the city.
Well, I've always got some things on the back burner,
Can't wait to see what you do.
I will be sure you get a ticket.
As I promised, I will be there. V, she kind of turns and she looks at you. Doing okay? He's currently dying.
I'm sorry, was that addressed to me? I was currently dying. I didn't hear my name.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it was, V.
Cool.
Are you alright? You're looking a little under the weather.
Well, at least I'm not under the ground anymore, right?
I'd wait a few hours before we make jokes like that.
Oh, well, I wasn't meaning him. I was it's where I was from,
Ah, I see. She'll get herself a glass of tea.
Is this the Monster Hunter Society that already knows what I am?
This is the lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what you are. You stayed there already. Okay. This is the lodge in the forest.
I don't have to be super worried about.
No, there are some Darklighters here, but
you'll find virtually no prejudice here, I imagine, because of becoming here before.
I mean, Cyril has spoken up for you if anybody has said anything. As the room kind of gets quieter, Cyril will nod his head and he'll step up by the body and he will clink like a just slightly rusted butter knife to his glass, and he'll say, as the head of the lodge, it is my duty to, handle the proceedings of this funeral. But before the giving back of the body to nature and the, wake begins, I have, clear instructions and a will left by Jensen that I was to read. And he'll open it slowly, and as he starts to open it and everyone starts to focus in, the door to enter the lodge will swing open. And James, I'd like you to describe your character.
Push to talk. All right, so who you see walk in is a somewhat simply clothed man. He's a little bit shorter than most humans, not by a lot, maybe by a few inches. I guess if you were looking close enough, you could tell that his features were almost off a little bit. Like maybe they don't fit that body very well, or maybe he's from somewhere you're not aware of, or there's something going on. But the features are kind of like a little bit off-putting, I would say. He's wearing a just a basic brown tunic. It kind of looks like something between like a large coat or overcoat over what could look like almost like disciples' robes or monk's robe or something like that. It's not exactly that, but that's to get the picture of what it is. Basic black boots with lots of clasps on them, a lot of gold-plated clasps. You look up at his face, and he's older. He looks older. You would guess maybe a little bit older than Jensen, 10, 12 years older than Jensen was. He has a short, shorn beard, very close cut, well met, a little bit of a curved nose, and kind of eyes that I guess you could describe as being sad, but not sad from weariness more than grief. He has a green bag slung over his back. Rather, it looks a little bit larger maybe for the body as well. He's also leaning heavily on a cane that definitely look made of wood for the most part until you get to your eyes find the top of it and the handle, which is metallic and looks like the head of a stag. And then he walks in. You can see he's hanging on. He like looks around a little bit, and then you all realize his hair and his beard. That's a very familiar color blue. And yeah, he'll walk in using the cane. And
Cyril kind of looks up as he's got the will halfway open, and he'll kind of stop as kind of all the eyes hit your character as he enters. You can tell you're entering just at the start of a moment. What would you like to do?
I think he'll look around, and to no one in particular, he'll say, "This does seem like the right place to be. There are too many long faces here." And he'll catch Cyril's eyes and say, "You look like you were one who could be in charge."
You could say that, yes. Can we help you with something?
Yes, I'm looking for someone. Passing through, following footsteps that I know that this person took through just knowledge and a feeling, an instinct. I think this was his home lodge, Jensen Sharp.
I have some unfortunate news. You can see some of the crowd part, and you can see Jensen's body on the table.
His eyes get very wide. He catches himself on his cane and takes a deep breath. And at the end of the breath, and whoever, like when you cry and you can't quite catch your breath, it goes a little bit at the end. That's his lip kind. You see like the evermost quiver there. And he'll walk up to the body and kind of just look at it for a minute, clasp his hands behind his back, holding the cane, and just silently stand there for a second, observing the body and how it's placed and how ornately placed it is.
It seems you may have known our friend.
I have known Jensen for a long time, though it has been some time since I've laid eyes on him. This is not what I was expecting. How that's why this place felt like a cloud was over it when I walked in. That cloud is a cloud of grief, I realize.
How's everyone else reacting to that?
Car's just silently observing. He's standing next to the doctor.
Yeah, V's kind of looking back and forth between the old guy and Jensen to see if he notices like any other similarities other than just the hair color.
Would V notice any other similarities that you can think of? Do they look like they have a familial resemblance or anything like that?
Nope.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Not
going
at all. Not at all. It would seem that the only thing that is similar is the simplicity with which they were dressed for the most part. You mostly saw Jensen in pretty simple adventurers clothes, leathers, that kind of stuff. It's very similar. Maybe like less heavy. Like it doesn't look like it's like a heavy duty sets of leathers, because this man is not nearly as big as Jensen. I think I had Jensen at around 6 feet, and this man is easily half a foot shorter than him.
Okay, that's kind of what I was gathering from your description, but wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I tried to, like I said before, the features, I guess it doesn't, I shouldn't give you the wrong impression. It doesn't look like it doesn't belong on the body. It looks a little whimsical, cartoonish even, I guess I don't know what better descriptor without.
It does. There is something about his like vibe that feels kind of like off. Like it doesn't feel like necessarily like natural to like the surroundings that all of you are in, I guess.
The more you look at him, especially now from the back, you can see in his hair that it's the same color, blue, teal, dark teal, except it's lighter. It's got streaks of silver and white and gray in it. It's that if he had been maybe the same age as Jensen, the blue would be pretty spot on.
Yeah, not saying any other resemblances, V is just gonna look confused because he's never seen or heard of anybody with blue hair before Jensen, and then now here's another one, but they don't seem to be related.
Here's another guy stealing Jensen's gimmick.
When the stranger enters the room, Max would surreptitiously peek through the dragon shard at him and just be sort of pretending to polish it.
Would his dragon shard pick up anything on you?
No, I guess that's actually kind of a question for you. We didn't go over.
We did not. The cane is definitely magical.
Okay.
Also, there's kind of like a residual. The cane's magic is primal.
That
know that too.
Makes sense.
And there's also kind of a residual magic to his like facial hair and his hair. It's harder to tell what that source is because it's like you can just barely tell that there's some magical essence there. It's very faint.
I would say that if I take some liberty on it, there's probably a little bit of that all over him, but there is maybe a little more brighter around there.
Sure.
Would Max ever have noticed that with Jensen?
Probably. Well, he probably noticed some residual magic with the blue hair.
Yes.
And we just never brought it up.
Okay. In that case, when he reaches or is close to the body as he's getting, Max would step up to him and offer a handkerchief and say, "There's no shame in tears here, friend. All of us have already shed some or shall soon."
Tear shed is not a bad thing. It's a sign of grief, yes, but a sign of renewed life, something that comes from something sad. You will not see me afraid. He'll turn his head towards you, Max, and you'll see that there are tear streaks down his face more than now that you're like looking him in the face. You lose a friend. That's probably the reason for crying the most in my time. You shed tears. You do not look like one of the hunters here at the lodge.
Oh, no, quite not, very much not a member of the lodge, I'm afraid. However, Jensen's and my paths cross quite intensely for a spell.
fact that you are here despite not being part of the hunters. And he'll look around and at the rest of you, because he is pretty observant, and he'll say, that is why all of you are here, are you not? All of you had time with Jensen. He's still talking just to Max, but he kind of looked at it, just acknowledged that the rest of you don't look like hunters.
Max would say, yes, paths have brought us into the lives of a number of interesting people, if you will, and sort of glancing at the people present meaningfully, and then say, where are my manners? Maximilian. And he'll hold out his hand.
And he'll pass the cane from his right hand to his left and hold out his hand. And he'll kind of straighten up a little bit. You see, he's a little hunched over while he's on the cane, right? But he'll straighten up a little bit and put out his hand. Maximilian, it is wonderful to meet someone else touched by Mr. Shaw. My name is Philomelian Ophidius Lamomenak. You can call me Phil for short. This is what Jensen called
me. Max will start to just say something polite and shake his hand, and then sort of do a double take.
From behind you, Max, you can hear, amongst the rest of them that are sitting observing, you can hear Charlotte say under her breath, "Isn't that the name of the bear trap?"
Anyone? Okay. Max would look at whoever. No, not whoever. Max would exchange a glance with the doctor if he's close enough and kind of cock his head.
Jensen and I traveled together many years ago. I think it is you that have traveled with him last, if I were at all an observant fellow.
V will walk up to Phil and go, yeah, we were with him at the end. Known him most of my life. He was a good guy.
You, sir, are large and rather mismatched. What is your name?
Didn't I just say that? I'm being sorry.
Sorry, sometimes...
I thought I said my name.
Sometimes the wax in my ears grows in one ear more than the other. And he'll pick shit out of his ear with a nail. V, you said.
Yes, and I'm really glad you're okay going by Phil, because that other name was really long.
It is not many who would want to call me Philomelian, but it is my given name, so I felt like I should give it to you.
That's my dad. I'll point to Dare.
Hello, Dad of V.
You don't notice any family resemblances?
My name is Deracine. It is nice to meet
Hello. It is wonderful to meet you, too. You are this one's father.
you. In a manner of speaking, yes.
I'm going to look back at Max and I'm going to say, it seems that you meet interesting people everywhere. And he'll kind of chuckle, have a sideways smile on his face.
Max, giving him a sort of knowing look, will say, in places you wouldn't believe.
That sounds like the right kind of people for Jensen to be around. And he'll look around and he'll look at Charlotte and he'll say, and who might you be? You are a rare beauty.
He's gonna raise an eyebrow at you. Charlotte Price. Thank you.
Miss Price. It's very nice to meet you too. Were you with him when whatever happened?
I'm sad to say I wasn't.
That was directed at everybody, but that's fair. Yeah.
And she does look pretty when she says that, she looks pretty... Like, there's, like, definitely, like, just, like, a bit of despair that seeps onto her face, because she knows that she wasn't there.
And at that moment, he'll kind of look around, and like, his eyes will kind of wide and go, "And who might you be?" And he's going to point at Carten with the, not menacingly, but with the cane. He'll, like, point the cane and say, "You do not look so much like a human."
Clockwork. Iteration 10. But any friend of Jensen may call me Carten.
Carten. Another one that has a mouthful of a name. I feel like we will get along swimmingly.
Before you walked in, we were trying to get to something, Cyril says from the table. And he starts trying to, like, quiet people down again, because, like, a bunch of conversations started. All right.
I'm sorry I have caused such a shuffle.
It's fine. Just give us a moment and the proceedings will begin. And then he'll open the will. And as he starts to read the will, we'll let James read the will as Jensen.
All right.
Must work for me, you know?
He just pops in the
I'm
video.
right. We good? You good? Okay. I'm writing this out after the events in Old Lambeth. I'm wrestling with the idea of loss and being laid to rest. Wanted to get something down on paper for someone to find. Hopefully my friends, old or new. Y'all who knew me knew that, in my eyes, everything is a choice, and there was always room for an extra thought and a new perspective. This might be all kinds of bad luck putting these here thoughts down on paper. Who really knows anyways? Well, fuck, I'm getting old. Shit, I gotten old. Taking care of that lonely, unfortunate place is taking its toll. I've been hurt, banged up, bled profusely, and I always knew I'd bounce back. Just like the time before, the time before that, and maybe the time before that. Sometimes more time was needed than others, depending on the severity of my encounters. But I was always in fighting shape soon enough. Not this time. Not from the truly monstrous beings that resided in that forsaken place. It's been weeks now. There's still something lingering, and I can't quite put my finger on where or what it is. Been trying to move past it, considering we're about to head into Aethergarde. I think a new experience would be good for these bones, though, like old times. Well, anyways, if shit were to go sideways in Aethergarde, or anywhere else here afterward, and any or all of these things are found with me and on my person, they should be given out as such to the best of your ability. To V, I think I should leave Phil in your possession. You have similar goals, but mean to carry them out in very different ways. But the fervor with which you carry them out is just as passionate. I hope you one day find inner peace in whatever form that would take for you. And remember, my friend, you are only a monster if you choose to be. To Maximilian, I leave you a couple things. First, this bit of unbreakable rope. Now, I'm no good at magic, but I kind of feel like that could be the subject of one of your jokes or part of your show. You know, it's just a piece of rope, I think, but I think that would be funny. And I also leave you this fey cloak. Wearing this here piece was the closest I could come to having a disappearing act worthy of your show. I hope it offers some protection when I can no longer provide it myself. Your kindness, generosity, and quick wit are always evident in your magic and your performances, which serves as a spotlight for the light that this often dark world has in it to uncover. This round old traveler always appreciated the smile and laughter that came from your presence. I hope your trust in the others has grown enough to know you don't have to take things on all by yourself. Tadare, what a privilege it has been to observe your mind and skills at work, Doctor. I may not be the smartest man you'll meet, but I'm sharp enough to shut my mouth and listen when there's something to be learned. I want you to have all my notes that I've taken in our time together, and before it as well. My own research is at work. Maybe not as organized as you might like it to be, but if any small piece of my travels contributes to something you create or solve, I'd be happy. And remember, my friend, you too are only a monster if you choose to be. To Miss Charlotte Price, I do very much hope that we find ourselves solving another mystery together before you ever hear or read this message. But if not, I hope that keen mind and creative quill of yours lead you to more stories worth preserving down on parchment. I hope I have lived a life half as fulfilling as yours seems to be. In that spirit, I'd like you to have my personal handwritten journals of my travels across these long 45 years. Some of the stories you know, others you've been a part of, though many you've never heard before. Maybe one or two of them could be the inspiration for your next novel. I can only imagine how your mind might embellish and build upon them. I expect my copies to be autographed. To Phil, my old friend, thank you for teaching me all those years ago to see gray where the world only shows black and white. I'm sorry it has been so long since our paths have crossed. I miss your presence immensely. You've had a profound effect on my journey in this life that I hope to imitate to those around me to the best of my abilities. Well, the other folks I've mentioned in this here letter are good folk. Folk that are worthy of finding and meeting, if you haven't already. They gave me a feeling of camaraderie and excitement I thought I would never experience again. I hope the things I've done can atone for the sacrifice you made because of me. I'll see you again, my friend. To Catalin. Catalin, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, anyways, I guess that's most of what I had to say. I've always tried my damnedest to leave a place better in some way than I found it. I never needed to be remembered in any sort of revered way. Don't really need to be remembered at all, really. But if I am, I hope it's for helping people, not hurting them. I'm a hunter. It's in my blood and in my bones, and violence follows me like an unwanted, stitched-on shadow. But I hope it was in service to a peaceful end and prosperity for those around me. I guess that's that then. Till we meet again. And to mind, and you see, if you were looking at it, the parchment has new ink on it, so he's definitely added this on later. Oh, and to my newest friend, Card 10. If you keep doing right by this group, I know this collection of first-rate minds will help you get rewired. And if not, you've found a new family and a new primary function. Protect them as best as you can. Spend more time worrying about your future and less time worrying about your past. Being able to choose who you are is a unique gift. And you can take any of my weapons and gear you might think might be helpful, except for the scimitar and a scalpel. Can't take those. Oh, which reminds me, Chofari, you know what to do with said blade. The lodge is the appropriate resting place for it.
He closes the will and he looks at everyone and he smiles. And he says, and now we drink to our friend. And later tonight, we will say our words to him before we bury him at the lake. But he wouldn't want us, just weeping all night. Not when I brought in so many fresh kegs to celebrate a well-lived life. And off to the side, Jafari kind of smiles. You can see him balancing the scimitar, and he grabs his rag and his polishing oil, and he kind of like walks down the steps with one of the bottles to his forge. And everyone in the room starts to, with some solemnity but great respect, start to celebrate the life of this man. And is there anything you guys want to do during that time before the end of the service and the casting into the lake? Feel free to chat with each other. Do whatever you want. Talk to this weird guy with a blue beard more. Some of you are getting drunk now. So.
Carr can't get drunk, so he's just going to walk over and look at Jensen and stare down at him. And then he'll silently walk back over and kind of stand in V's shadow. He's shrunken more than normal.
Can any of us other than Maximilian actually get drunk?
Huh?
I don't know. Are you immune to alcohol based on the undead features?
I mean, from hemomancy, I'm immune to poisons and diseases, and alcohol is pretty much just a really mild poison.
I'll let you find a way to get drunk tonight if you want to. And if you don't, then you don't. Same with everybody else. There's definitely canonically a way for vampires to get wasted if they want.
I imagine that would be feeding on somebody who's drunk.
Yeah. Or like you probably know how to like mix alcohol with the blood if you want, because you're like a doctor. But the average vampire would probably just feed on somebody who's drunk.
For sure. Dari's not getting drunk.
Fair enough.
So we probably wouldn't get drunk.
What's Phil doing?
He's drinking. For sure. He gets a pigger tankard and kills the first one if anybody's watching faster than you might think he would. But then, at some point he probably goes over to Jensen's body again, and you just kind of see him like fold a hand behind his back while holding the beer, and he'd say a few words. And unless you were close enough to hear it, he would hold up the glass a little bit and take a drink and walk away. And he is definitely crying again.
I think we should ask him about the beards. Charlotte's like sipping on wine.
Yeah.
Besides, he's crying. Maybe him telling a story would help him. V, go get him.
Okay. I'll go over to Phil, and when he gets there,
I was hoping you were going to say you were going to throw Phil at Phil.
I contemplated it, but this is a really serious setting, Matt. Okay.
Fair.
There's definitely nothing going on there. Total coincidence.
Yeah, totally. Veal, think about it. Realize he wasn't really sure if she was just telling him to go talk to Phil, like bring Phil back. So he'll just talk to Phil and go, "Hey, so the will made it sound like you were his mentor or something."
Well, I did find him at a time when he was not so sure of himself and his ways.
Charlotte turns to you, Dare. I don't think he understood what I was asking him to do.
You tend to need to be quite specific. He went and is speaking to Phil, it seems.
Sometimes you gotta do things yourself. She's gonna get up and start walking over there.
Yes, let's
Cut
get
back to
some
you
over
guys.
Oh, so what was going on that he needed help with? He never really talked about his past that much.
Well, his past is here and there, a little bit of everywhere, a little bit of good, a little bit of not so good. But he learned. It's funny that he credits me with not seeing things in a black and white way. And he's gonna like look between Fee and Dare and say, don't know exactly what's going on here, but I think that maybe that frame of mind helps in making the two of you his friends.
I think it also helped that his sword never lit up blue around us. But he did check it a lot.
Well, that sword is a good indicator. It kept him safe many times. It kept me safe many times. If it did not light up blue around you, you were not an enemy. Or a monster.
Was your sword?
No, that sword was given to him.
Oh, you
For
just said
doing
that
a
it
job.
had saved your... Oh, because you were with him? That's how it saved your life?
That is correct.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Well, the first time I found him, or I met Sven Jensen, was in a very dark time. He was not making a good decision. That is a story for maybe another day.
I look forward to hearing it.
He says that you folk are worthy of finding and meeting, so it seems I had no choice but to meet you today, one way or the other.
Yeah, I can't... We traveled with him for a while. He became a good friend, but I can't exactly say our times together were probably any less dark to normal people.
There is much darkness in this world, wherever you go.
Seems like he might have found more of it than most people.
Yes. He had an uncanny ability to see light in the darkest places. I would not say that I told him how to do it, but I tried to answer questions that he might have.
That's good. So are you a member of the lodge as well then?
No. I am, well, I hope I am respected by at least this lodge. I have been to many lodges with Jensen as a guest.
The rest of the party, following Charlotte, walks into the conversation about now, and Charlotte says, "So, what did we miss?"
Phil was kind of his mentor through something really dark, and then and he's just gonna keep recapping until where they walked up.
Boy, you have a sharp memory. Sometimes I don't even remember all the details of that story.
That might just be.
Didn't
old
you
age,
just tell
maybe.
the story?
Yes, I did. But maybe like a few more of these, and he'll like look down at the cup, and I might remember less of it.
We all need more of those tonight.
To Jensen. Old friends and new, coming together.
She'll tip her glass to that as well.
Yeah.
V will drink, but more just symbolic.
Brain juice.
Ooh, that would be awesome. Is there a blender in this world? We could blend up some brains with
You
some
could
ice.
saturate brains with alcohol to get yourself drunk if you wanted, I think. Truly
Something to consider
horrifying
for
to
the
think that.
future. They probably wouldn't approve of that here at the Monster Hunter Lodge.
As long as they're ethically sourced brains, right?
Yep.
Is grave robbing ethically sourced?
I mean, it probably depends on the person's opinion. Some people are like, a dead body's a dead body, just let it rot and plants grow from it, right? Other people are like, hey, that's like a sacred remembrance of a life.
Yeah, I don't feel like eating people's brains would go over well at a funeral.
Most of the people here would not enjoy watching you do that in front of them.
Yeah, I'll avoid that for tonight.
You gotta have him invent like a way for you to go-gurt them into your mouth so other people don't know what's going on.
Yes,
Go-gurt them
the
in
go-gurt
your mouth.
and alcoholic brains.
As this conversation is going, go ahead and make wisdom or wits and study tests for me against a target number of 8. Phil, you don't need to make this.
You said wits and study.
Or
You got a
wisdom.
12?
Whatever you'd like.
Oof, I'm missing the
An
cards
8 for
already.
me.
3.
15.
We have this little transition of time, not very long. Your group is still together talking, but the party has continued to progress. We kind of like fade in, and then we come in on your party from another angle. And as we're coming on your party, a half-drunk, slightly teary-eyed Jafari smiles as he says to somebody else, and then do you know what Jensen did? He caught the tiger by its tail. And this little group is like laughing, and then it kind of like pans back there to you guys, and everyone who got an 8 or higher at this point in the conversation, despite maybe the haze of the night starting to set in, those of you that got an 8 or higher have definitely noticed at this point that Phil has pointed ears.
At one point, I feel like I was getting disheveled enough that I would have like put my hand through my hair and kind of moved my hair away from over my ears. They're not super pointed, but they are definitely more pointed than a human's ears.
Car's definitely obviously staring at it. Like awkwardly.
V, what did you get?
3.
Dare, what did you get?
I got an 8.
Okay. Well, those of you that rolled that high also have definitely noticed at this time that there's certain things about Phil's character that remind you of descriptions of a certain fey trickster from a book you read over a few days of travel. Not like direct reminders, but like just like aspects of his character are like similar to how they were described in the book. Charlotte is like looking at Phil like knowingly at this point, but she hasn't said anything directly about it. But she's like getting very suspicious of like who or what he is, in a curiosity way, not in like a worried or anxious way.
And Car would have gotten access to this book. I rolled a 12.
No, I don't think Car, because the book left with her before
Gotcha.
your character joined the group, so it's not around for you guys to read.
So then he's just kind of staring at him then.
You did notice that he had pointed ears and you haven't seen those before.
Yeah, he's just staring at it. He doesn't know how to react.
Would that surprise you to know that was not the first time that he yanked on a large cat's tail?
It wouldn't.
Ha!
Jafari tops off your drink.
I hope this is just the alcohol making my brain this fuzzy, or maybe I have aged a lot with my grief.
A bit of both, I'd say.
Wise words.
So, Phil, how did you and Mr. Jensen meet anyway?
Oh, I did start to tell V that story. I guess I can finish it.
Please. We'd all love to hear.
Trifari nods as well. I'm definitely interested.
Okay. Well, it was a very dark and stormy night in the forests around. I cannot remember the name of the country, but it's the country that he would have gotten, or the place that he would have gotten the sword from.
I don't think we specifically named it.
No. So
Insert name. Matt will
another
write more
thought.
doc later.
Yeah. Think of like he'll describe like a dark and stormy forest. And I was finding my way back to, well, the way back to my home. When I stumbled across a man, rather round even back then, huddled around a tree, sword out, pointed at a very pale individual. I came upon them and said, "Friend," and Jensen whirled on me, sword pointed in my direction, and he said, stay back, I must get him back to the castle." I said, "Are you going to make it back to the castle?" Because I could see that he had multiple wounds in his stomach and his chest and his arms, and he was down on one knee. I said, "Getting back to this castle, what is this?" And I saw the creature was tied up. Oh, I'm very sorry. I'm forgetting details here. This alcohol. Anyways, later on, Jensen told me that this was a vampire and that he was trying to take it back for a job. But the vampire had obviously gotten the best of him in many ways. And so I told him, "You should leave this one here. It is not worth it. You should get somewhere and see to your wounds." And Jensen, very stubborn back then, said that he would not get paid if he did not bring this monster back to the lodge, alive. They wanted to question him. I said, "But what if you don't get back to the lodge?" He was like, "Well, that's not acceptable." I said, "Well, it has to be acceptable. If you don't make it back, the vampire will not make it back either. So what is the point?" And he thought for a minute and was very insistent, and all of a sudden fell to one knee and seemed to go unconscious. I rushed to his side, picked him up, put him up against the tree, looked at the vampire, who had a smirk on his face, and said, "This is your lucky day," and I let him go. And then I tended to Jensen's wounds right there in the forest. I gave him a nice cup of something that I'm not sure has made its way here. We call it coffee, made from beans and hot water. I'm rather good at making coffee, might add, so I attempted to tend to his wounds and give him a hot cup of something to drink. And then he kind of like trails off for a second, like it was like lost in thought. This goes on for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
This is like a first draft.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was telling a story. So, when Jensen woke up from his wounds, from me tending his wounds, the first thing he wanted to know was about this vampire. And I told him that I let him go. Jensen proceeded to attack me, which did not go very well for him. Back in the day, I was pretty good on my feet. And he'll kind of like tap his feet and chuckle, like with the cane and chuckle. And I'll say, but in the end I said, "Are you alive?" And he said, "Well, of course I am." And I said, "Then we will make it back and you can hunt another day." And he said, "Go to hell." And I said, "Well, that's not my home, but I'd rather see you safely to the lodge." So I took him to the lodge. And we've basically become inseparable since then. That's not true. He was very mad at me for a good while. But after he came to his senses, he came and sought me out to thank me. And we had a cup of coffee, and we talked about what he did in his life up until then. I don't know why he chose to share so much with me so early, but he did. We decided that maybe, together, we could brave the perils of these lands better. That's it.
Max will sort of mime applauding.
Thank you. I'm sure I forgot details, but we can for later.
And how long have the two of you been apart? He didn't happen to mention you, but I traveled with him for some time, and these fellows traveled with him for even longer.
I'm not sure exactly how long. It has been 6 months since I started the journey to come and find him. I retraced his steps, asked many people about who might know where he went, and eventually the trail led me here today. Fortuitous or not. It has been, I'd say, 20 years or so since I have seen him. In his will, it said he was 45. And that makes sense. I never knew his exact age, but he was young when I first met him.
What brought you to come looking for him now?
Well, I just wished him to know that sacrifice he talked about, it was okay, and all is forgiven. I am here now. That is all that matters. Although I wish I could have told him so.
In some way, I'm sure he knows that.
He had an intuition about him.
Agreed.
You know, the first time I met Jensen, I had just escaped from a cage naked in the cellar of like a death cult's mansion, and they came up the stairs behind. He's just gonna start retelling that whole story.
He just recaps session 1.
He is
pretty much.
Like, Phil is super focused. Like, he is enjoying this immensely. Like, he really likes story time.
As V is telling this story, Dari's gonna go up to Jensen and whisper something to the body and push a folded up note into his breast pocket or something.
Would it shock you to know, like, after you do that in the middle of the story, would it shock you to know that that was not the first time that he went to another place that was not here? And he's, like, referencing, like, the old Lambeth part of the story.
He got stuck in an alternate dimension thing more than once.
No. He traveled with me a couple times to the Fae Realm.
Oh, are you guys Fae? Is that why your beards are blue?
He starts laughing. Says, "Oh, it is true that his beard is blue, as blue as mine. But my beard, my hair and beard have always been this color. His have not."
And
Did
I'm
he
sure.
dye it?
No, he did not.
Shafari starts filling your drink again. So how did it happen?
So many questions and stories to tell all in one night.
Oh, just one more.
Well, I suppose. I suppose this night, as of all nights, is the best night to tell stories about Jensen, is it not?
I'll drink to that.
Yes. Well, it just so happens we were facing down what could only be described as the ugliest undead fellow that we had ever come across. Someone had given him pitchforks for hands. Can you believe it? Ha! And he starts laughing. But Jensen, meaning to protect me, ill-fated as it was, got in between me and it and took a large wound. And he almost died. Closer than he has ever come. And the only thing that I knew to do was to give him some of my blood. And with it, I gave him a new beard color. How do you think that before I tell you this story, how did you think his beard became blue?
I definitely
thought
thought
he
it was
tied
some
it
kind
in
of...
secret.
He
I
did not
definitely
tell
thought-
you fantastical stories about meeting the natives.
I definitely thought it was some kind of fey trick or something.
Oh, he loved to tell a different story every time someone asked him. Did you not ask him why his beard was blue?
I mean, I don't really get out very much, so I just kind of figured it was a color I hadn't seen before.
Car nods with him.
This is kind of a strange group. You'd fit right in.
Well, seems as if Jensen fit in. And if Jensen fits in, well, hopefully I could fit in too. I came to find him, meaning to tell him about... Well, that is not a story for tonight. But he said you were a worthy bunch to find and meet. Oh, I already said that. Maybe I will spend time with you while you are at the lodge. I wish to get to know the people that knew Jensen the best in the end.
You are more than welcome to spend some time with us. But perhaps another story, if you are so inclined. You happen to know about that bear trap, Phil.
His eyes get like
I'll pull out
beady
Phil the bear trap.
and like furrow at his brow. He scowls at you and he'll say, "A bear trap, you say?"
And then V pulls it out, like, directly in front of you, basically.
No, I hate that bear trap. I was there when he found it.
Hello?
No, you are not named Phil. You are Bear Trap. Phil is my name. Just because you heard me say it the first time we found you does not mean that your name is Phil too.
Hello?
I hate this Bear Trap. I hate it. Get it out of my sight. We found this in a chest one time, and he opened it for the first time, and I said, "Hello, my name is Phil." And then the bear trap popped open and said, "Hello, my name is Phil, and I'm a bear trap." I was the unlucky one to talk to it first. If not, it would have been named Jensen.
I'll put
And to
Phil
think
the
we could
bear
have been
trap
traveling with-
away and whisper
And to think we
it,
could have been
"This'll be
traveling
fun."
with 2 Jensens this entire time.
Oh, I'm not sure he would have kept it. I'm not even sure why he kept it now, if maybe for sentimental reasons. Which, to be fair, and his like features visibly soften a little bit. That is, and he like can't get it out because he like starts crying again.
I've seen him do some pretty devastatingly hilarious stuff with that bear trap.
Yeah, he put it to good use.
Hope that he thought of me when he used it, as much as I hate it.
I'm quite certain he did.
Your
Just the
namesake
end.
served him well.
That is good. I heard that he left. That's what the Phil he must have been talking about. I did not think that he was going to leave me for someone I didn't even know. I was very confused during the reading. Until it came to the part about me, and then I realized that, well, I did not realize anything actually. I was still very confused about why he was trying to give Phil to anyone. Now I understand.
Yes, it would have been awkward if it was you.
Yeah, I don't really want to own a person. That'd be weird.
I agree.
You hear just outside the back door, you hear Cyril gathering people to get ready to go down to the lake on the other side of the hill.
I start making my way slowly down, almost looking like, you know how Yoda walks in the prequels a little bit. He kind of looks like that. Not quite as slow, but sort of like that.
A symphony of clicks and sounds and whispers of creaks in the wood of the trees greet all of your ears as you move down the hill and reach the waters of the lake. Cyril stands out front with Shafari nearby, a little bit farther up the hill. Sorry, one second. What's her name is also here? Maisie. Maisie is standing kind of teary-eyed, holding a thick shawl over herself. And Cyril will say, and he'll kind of motion back behind him, and you'll see a small boat that has a pyre built with Jensen's body on it. His medallion and his sword have been removed, as in the morning they'll be placed in the hall, kind of the honored hall in the lodge, along with his name. And he'll say, I have never met a finer hunter or a finer man. And he'll look back at the body and he'll nod his head and he'll kind of silently step to the side. And Shafari will step forward and he'll say, I will sharpen your blade one last time tonight before it is laid to rest. If anyone else would like to speak. And then he'll step to the side and you'll see that there's like a couple bows off to the side and he's like getting ready because they're going to like push it out and light it after people are done speaking, if anybody wants to speak.
Car can move forward, walk up in front of everybody unless anybody wants to go first.
No, he would probably have said everything he was going to say when they were telling stories.
All right, so Car walks up next to him and he goes, Jensen was my friend. He taught me of bean juice and of monster hunting. I have replayed the data repeatedly. Though alternate outcomes existed, none where we all could have survived. Without Jensen's sacrifice, we all surely would have died. Jensen understood a truth most do not. Victory is rarely clean. Success is often measured not in survival, but in delay, in holding the line enough for someone else to escape. Jensen understood this. He chose to protect his team when self-preservation protocols would have advised disengagement. I am a construct made of brass and steel. I do not fear claws. I do not bleed. And yet, I calculate loss. The absence of Jensen has created a measurable gap in my operational efficiency. He will be missed. Jensen's last lesson to me was that courage is not the absence of fear. It is action despite it. To my fallen friend, your watch has ended. Your debt is cleared. Your name is archived. And he just walks away silently and goes back over near the doctor.
Jafari will kind of like observe just in case anybody else.
Max will step forward. He'll say, he'll clear his throat and seem to be trying to hold back tears and say, Jensen is an excellent hunter and an even better friend. Though our paths now separate for a time, he goes before us to protect us from any dangers that may be ahead, as he did in this life. Until our paths meet again, Jensen.
Jafari will kind of nod his head, and he and Cyril will kind of catch the end of the boat and push it out towards the still waters. And then he'll pick up the bow and he'll ignite the end of the arrow and he'll kind of fire it. It's not a skill shot or anything. It's just. And the pyre of the boat will ignite.
As it ignites, you'll hear Phil start just humming under his breath. Not words, just a melody. It's a slow melody that seems to mean something to him.
Carr silently walks up behind Phil and places a hand gently onto his shoulder.
That was wonderful what you said, Construct.
Thank you, Phil.
I know he treated you better than most humans probably did. Am I right?
He told me what things tasted like. It was nice.
And he'll kind of chuckle, and one tear will fall, and he'll nod at you and kind of turn back, and he'll start humming again. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with that hum, we slowly fade to morning of the next day. I'm going to say that you guys didn't make super solid plans. I would imagine most of you wanted to travel back to the city pretty quickly after the funeral. But as you guys are waking up, what times would people be waking up? With what urgency would be characters be waking up?
Well, as it's becoming morning, I'm finding somewhere to not be
Just
seen.
yeah. You're hiding in a room that has very heavy covers over the windows.
Yes.
Carr doesn't require much downtime, so he's already doing surveillance of the grounds. He's
None of you required much downtime if you didn't want it last night. It's been like a few days since you guys have done anything really crazy. Some of you are nursing like longer term injuries from that fight, but
he's gone from his charging station. He's checking to make sure the grounds are safe and make sure nobody's.
Well, if you do that at some point, you would come across Phil outside by a tree. He's got a little. Once you get, he seems to be sitting cross-legged on a blanket or some rug or something. Just kind of sat quietly. He's got a little table, like almost TV tray type of thing, set up in front of him, and there is steam rising from a clay pot in the middle. And if you got closer, you'd see that up against the tree, there's a like sketched drawing that looks very similar to Jensen, if maybe not exactly how you remembered him, maybe how Phil remembered him. And he is humming that same Melody and slowly stirring the pot.
I think Jensen was fatter.
Whoa. You scared me, little Carten. Yes, well, he wasn't always that round. He was more taller and skinnier, for sure.
What are you making?
This is coffee.
Ah, bean juice.
Yes, it is made of beans. That's very true. To call it just bean juice is slightly insulting, though. This is an art form, an alchemical reaction, in fact.
I meant no insult. It is bean juice.
Did he ever show you bean juice?
He described it more than once. He seemed to like it.
He very much did enjoy it. I showed it to him the first time. I don't know if he ever got the hang of making it. When we traveled together, he was not allowed to make it.
Perhaps you could show me how to make it.
Of course.
What are everybody else doing? What's everybody else doing? To those of you that went outside would notice that at the bottom, in like the main hall, Charlotte woke up early, and she's got like her things packed. She looks like she's getting ready to head out, probably fairly early to go to the road because she's expecting to be picked up. But she's having some breakfast first in case anyone wants to chat with her. And if not, that's okay too. She'll still come around and find everybody to say goodbye.
Max would sit down for breakfast with her.
She kind of smiles at him, and she says, "So, I've been exploring the story of the book some more."
Oh, and what have you discovered?
I think that there is much to this idea of hidden histories in the mythos. It's going to take some travel and some legwork, but there might be real findings connected to these stories.
Whatever there is to find, I'm certain that you'll find it.
He'll nod. She'll nod. And then she'll kind of look at you, and she's got kind of a concerned look on her face, and she'll say, "So, what I'm more concerned about is, what exactly is the plan with all of you? This Morloon? V told me something about him as we were talking last night, and, sounds like you're not totally sure he's not still alive?"
Did I recognize that name?
Yeah, he was the werewolf leader
we were fighting.
that
the pack
killed
leader.
Jensen.
Oh, got it.
Remember, you guys had to escape as he was transforming?
Well, I wasn't there for that.
Were you not there for the last session of the fight?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's my bad. We'll put more characters in this scene then. V, you can be here too.
Yeah, I'll be there. That's good.
Most of the people have left, so if you want to be part of this conversation, they could have shaded this area.
And I marked Morloon for death. Can I retain him as my mark for death?
What does the feature say? I think it would have ended by now, based on the feature. I like the idea of permanent vengeance being tied to an NPC, though, and I'm going to do something with that. So any of you that want to be here for this conversation can be. But she's definitely trying to gauge people about, like, how they're feeling about things, whether or not there's a plan.
We would.
Now, just so you know, in the time that's passed since this, the Darklighters have been patrolling parts of the sewers and, like, looking out for evidence of Morloon, and they haven't found anything. And there haven't been any more werewolf attacks either.
he would probably tell her that, well, the Dark Lighters have been trying to find something, but they haven't had any success yet. I don't know if we're going to be actively searching for him, though, because the only person who had, experience tracking werewolves was Jensen. And he's saying all of this in between bites of like brain dipped in his coffee and sprinkled with some chili peppers.
Well, perhaps with time, our good friend, the doctor, could develop ways to aid you in fighting these things or even tracking them, but...
I mean, he already figured out how to cure them.
What?
Track them and just be like the world's werewolf expert.
I'm just offering ideas.
I mean, we could always ask him. Maybe Max can do something magical. Can you do anything magically to, like, track people?
Would Max be aware of any spells like that?
There's probably is magic out there. You were there for the big battle. Like, you participated in it, so you know, like, what he looks like and stuff. So it might be possible if you were to find a way to get access to, like, a scrying bowl, you could attempt to find him if he's on... if he's in this realm and hasn't somehow moved to another one, which is very difficult to do in this setting. So it's very likely he is in this realm.
Would we have been able to get any, like, tufts of fur or anything from him?
I mean, I might have had some on me. I was fist fighting with the guy.
I'd say that if you guys had wanted, Dare probably could have gathered some of that and probably some, like, skin under his nails as well.
I was gonna say, from directly fighting him, if you had Jensen's body, maybe there was something left on Jensen's body.
Yeah, true.
I'm sure between me and Jensen that were brawling with him up close, there'd be enough to gather, like, a decent tuft of fur or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. So yes, I will say yes, you do have access to that.
Okay. Yeah. Max will say, I'm looking into various methods of arcane scrying and detection, that sort of thing, but it's going to take some common reagents, and I haven't quite been able to find direct references to the exact methodology involved.
Perhaps there's somewhere in Aethergarde where you could get more information. That magisterium you were talking about, maybe?
I do intend to see if they have anything on the subject.
I'm sure you're already way ahead of us.
That's how Dad found a cure to werewolf, was it?
She drains her tea as she watches all of you, and she says, well, I have some traveling ahead of me, some new details from the book to explore. But I do intend to see all of you again, soon I hope, and not for another funeral.
Yes, next time we shall have to convene under happier circumstances.
Perhaps some kind of big performance.
Well, I do have a few coming up.
I can't wait. And one by one, she touches the shoulder, smiles, or hugs each one of her dear friends before she leaves all of you at the table. She passes Phil, who's coming in as she's going out. And good luck to you too, sir.
Thank you, mistress. It was an honor to speak with you last night and learn how your and Jensen's paths crossed.
And your story was very interesting as well.
There's many more where that came from.
She'll smile. I can't wait to hear the next one. And then she'll turn and head out the door.
As we're walking and I turn to Car and I'll say, I think she very much liked me. I can be quite charismatic sometimes. He says without a shred of self-awareness or...
Guard just nods.
Oh, but where was I? Yes, it is
He
really...
will go, yeah, I'm sure that was it.
Well, and you see as I'm walking in, I have like a big like a big pitcher, and it's steaming. I say the trick is how you pour the boiling water over the grounds. It must be done in a clockwise direction, slowly and methodically.
Guard is just observing, like taking in all the information.
Good morning, I say to everybody else.
Good morning, Phil.
He just follows Phil in.
And other Phil, he'll say he'll be looking at James's new character when he says other Phil.
Wow, I am other Phil. Just because I am new does not mean I hold more value than a bear trap.
Well, he's already Phil, and we knew him first.
Well, I guess you'll have to get used to saying Philomelion. He said with a cheeky grin on his face.
I doubt he will do that.
Probably not.
It is not. It is very fun to say.
Philolilium.
Well, that was a good first attempt. We will work on it. I cannot wait until you get to my family name.
Philominium.
Well done. Keep trying. Do all of you like coffee? Has Jensen shown you this coffee before?
V will hold up his cup of coffee. You'll see him dip a fresh chunk of brain with chili flakes on it in the coffee and then eat it.
His mouth's just gonna hold open for a second and kind of like stare at you, like stare at the cup, stare at you. It is a most unusual breakfast.
They're the 3 best tasting things in the world. Well, the only tasting things in the world so far.
Well, you have not had coffee made by Philomelion. I took the liberty of brewing up a particularly special batch today, as we are all still grieving from the loss of our friend. Can I roll for my
Yes.
stuff
Would you like to
today?
tell him what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. I am an alchemist, and my mode of potions is coffee. So I am rolling today for a Fortify Mind potion. I also have the feature that allows me to make as many of them as it takes up to my uses by an amount equal to your ranks and wisdom. So I'm going to have five portions, and everybody can take one of these. Now I do need to roll to see how good of a coffee it is today. That is a wisdom and knowledge roll, which is a 2d12 for me. Actually, 2d12 plus 2. I rolled a 15, so 15 means you create a low and standard quality creation. So I'm going to create 5 copies of the standard quality Fortify Mind potion, which, spending a D, a creature that drinks this potion increases their sanity wound threshold by 2 until their next long rest. Keep this to help your mind recover from the grief you and I have been experiencing. And he'll pour it out for everybody.
V will take a cup and drink it and go, huh, the voice is quieted down a little bit. That's weird.
Max will take a tentative. Go ahead.
As voices, you say? Oh,
I'm sorry, what? I was coughing again.
I said, your voices, you say? As in many?
Yeah, well, shit, it's been too long. I gotta look up their names again. Hold on. Yeah, well, there's Gladys and Cecil and Gustav, and then there's another guy, but he's kind of a dick and seems to want to just take over the world. So I don't try to really talk to him very much.
Yes, that's what Rob. That sounds terrible. And he'll point with the cane and he'll say, which part is Gladys, and which part is this very mean man? And he'll point to parts of your body. I think I am understanding what's going on here.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Dad.
Oh. He a long, oh.
As this is happening, Max, you're going to say something?
Yeah. Max takes a tentative sip and says, well, I still prefer the taste of tea, but I must admit, your brewing of these beans has a bit of a sort of buzz that the Mr. Jensen's lacked.
Yes, you could never really do it quite like I could. I taught him everything I could. But it is in the ingredients.
So yeah, everybody who drinks those gets a sanity threshold increase of 2.
Plus 2 your sanity, but threshold until the next round long rest.
You made me twice as sane today.
Car, you are able to administer that to yourself and gain it.
Oh, nice. I was going to ask too. Car will, for the first time, drink coffee. It is delicious.
Taste it since it's magical coffee.
I prefer mine without brain, V.
But the brain is the best part. You've seen he's now pulled out his very fancy silver spoon with a skull on it, and he just put chunks into your coffee and is eating it like brain soup with the coffee as the broth.
Definitely brains, Phil.
I am going to choose not to feel disrespected by this. I must see how this. Well,
this is
I don't really.
Great.
I wonder what it would taste like.
He does not share his brains with anyone.
He'll hold out a spoon with a chunk of brain on it.
Oh no, that was a more a rhetorical question. I do not mean to eat brains, if that is in fact what that is.
Yeah, it is. They're fresh. Sure you don't want them?
I am very sure.
They're really good.
I can imagine.
V will look at the spoonful and go, some people are just really weird about what they eat, I guess, and he'll put it in his mouth and eat it.
Daria, from where you linger up in your room, when you take a peek at the stable down below and kind of the covered side exterior of the lodge, you would see it looks like the driver who... I'm going to remember the name of the driver is... Timothy. It looks like he's gotten things ready to go. for when you guys are ready to leave.
He'll you'll see Phil look inside of the picture he had and look at the table and point and say, "Where is the good doctor this morning? Sleeping in, I bet. Went a little bit too hard into the wine last night."
He's a night owl. He doesn't really come out at all during the day.
All right. I will keep this for him.
Is there anything else y'all want to do at the lodge?
I would say, hope it is not imposing for me to maybe go with you as far as this Aethergarde. Just to maybe tell some more stories or get to know you a little better. I will find my way if you so choose once we are there. But if you do not mind me tagging along to this place.
I mean, I'm fine with that as long as you're okay waiting until Dare, Dad, wakes up.
This is technically the end of my journey. I got to where Jensen was. I don't really know where to go next. I will follow my feet.
Do you not tell your feet where to go?
Oh no, my friend. My feet tell me where to go and I follow.
V's gonna sit there and look at his feet and wait for them to tell him something. After a minute of nothing happening, he'll look at the guy and go, "I think my feet are silent." And he'll just kind of turn around and walk off.
Curious.
Max will say, although, for all we know, perhaps one of those voices is in his feet.
What you say, I wonder if the mix-up inside is because he has two people's different feet. That is what's going on, right? I am on the right track. He is made of many people.
I am pretty sure he has 2 left feet as well.
That would explain his dancing abilities.
I'm surprised he does not walk around in circles. Ha ha, he'll laugh to himself.
Definitely not an ambi turner. How does everyone else feel about Phil tagging along, at least to the city?
Max will look around at everyone and then say, any friend of Mr. Jensen's is a friend of ours, and I certainly have no opposition to you traveling with us to Aethergarde.
I appreciate this, Maximilian.
I too would like you to join the group. I would love to learn more about bean juice.
And I would love to learn more about a construct. I have never come across something as interesting as you.
Unfortunately, I have very little memory. Perhaps you can help me with that.
Maybe. And he says maybe a few times and stops and thinks. He's definitely churning through probably, if you had to guess, ingredients and other things that he could make in the coffee to make this better for you, make this easier for you. We will figure something out.
Did Jensen left Max his bandana, right?
A fey cloak and the unbreakable rope.
Can Carr have taken his bandana and he has it tied onto his arm now?
Sorry. I told you in the will that you could take whatever your weapons, if I had daggers and stuff like that. You could take all that. You just couldn't have the scimitar.
But yeah, all he took was the bandana, so he's got it tied on the arm. It'll stay there until that werewolf is dead.
All right. You know that you're going to be on the road it takes about 3 kind of close to 4 days to get back to the city from here. That's just riding and stopping at night, basically. Or you guys could push it if you want to get back like a day and a half faster. You could probably get back at the end of the day on Aaron Day, Eben Day. I think yeah. So you could probably get back on like the 25th if you really wanted to instead of the 26th. You would just need to like push the travel a little bit. Is there anything else you guys want to do at the lodge before you head out?
I think at some point he would have Phil would have just found Jafari and said thank you for a beautiful ceremony and honoring him like he should. But roleplay.
Jafari would take that compliment, and he would show off the sword in its glass display case in the Hall of Heroes to anyone that wanted to see it. All prepared.
A fine place for a fine weapon. Did you work that steel at all?
I did, and I reworked it each time he came back until it couldn't break anymore. Just like his spirit.
That is. It looks as pristine as the day that he got it. Beautiful work. And he'll like bow to him and walk away.
We'll do the same. As all of you ride out to travel, you would have some time over long rests to work on projects on the road if there's anything anybody would like to work on. If not, I'm going to give you some projects because we're going to do a little points catch up for a couple characters.
Max, at some point, still wants to get the dragon shard turned into a monocle, but I'm not sure that's supposed to do when we get back to Aethergarde.
All right, Max. As you're kind of thinking about that and like what that project would entail, go ahead and make a wits knowledge test. This test would be specifically focusing on like arcane knowledge and stuff. So if you have any extra bonuses to that,
I do indeed.
Would get him.
Bonus.
Do you have a character doc somewhere where I can see your features just so you can see?
I have a character doc. I don't know if it's shared with you. Can that?
Oh yeah, you don't have anything. Okay, it's fine. What'd you get? For your
16.
16. Okay.
16.
You're not sure how to do that yet, but really what you've done is you've begun to practice like the application of magic to physical objects and connecting it and attuning it to things like that so you can shape them into shape the magic into like the shape that you want and to do what you want. And as you're doing that, Max, you gain the spell scripter feature.
Ooh.
From Magecraft. I don't believe you have that, do you?
Nope. Handy.
I put you at 8. It's like, and you also gain an enhanced spellbook of your choice.
Neat.
That puts you at 110, right?
That's
It's 3 and another 2.
5. Yes, that looks right.
Okay, cool. Car, what kind of things would you be doing with your downtime on the travel?
Trying to master the creation of bean juice, I think, is probably one of his primary items. I do. I mean, I don't know if I can do anything with the smoke pellets. I don't think I have enough knowledge to recreate my smoke pellet that's been sitting around.
No, but I tell you what. The time you spend working on that, you work with Dare pretty closely because Dare doesn't need any catch-up points, so he needs something to do during this. And you gain the two of you can choose a humanoid modes upgrade, and you gain it along with its points.
I think I already got an idea.
And check this real quick. He's also going to you're able to actually tap into his power core and fix a flaw that looks like it got damaged when you guys had to fight him way back when you met him. And that gives you the ageless design feature.
Awesome.
That puts you at 105.
Thank you, sir.
And when the ageless design feature kicks in, and you get the power source back to full, you also get to take 2 of the energy abilities of your choice. So that'll put you at 111.
Do I still have the 3 unspent points, or is that just...
Yes, you do. That should total out to 111 with those, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All
right. V, what kind of things are you focusing on as you guys travel back to Aethergarde?
I mean, I don't know if there'd be a specific project or anything, but V would probably try to get Maximilian to identify the endless hourglass to see what was so special about it that thing was willing to offer us like a shit ton of gold for it, or demarks.
Is that the one I tried to identify and failed, or is that something?
Yes.
Or is that something else?
It's the thing you tried to identify and failed.
Oh, okay. I didn't remember he had tried to identify it and failed.
Phil, as you guys are traveling back, you're able to master a new alchemical creation. That'll put you at 111.
Oh, thank you.
V, as in between working on that, you find yourself having to deal with a lot of dull, like basically just road time. After those coffees from the first days wear off, those voices in your mind, they start filling your head again. It's disturbing the way they kind of like peek into your thoughts. Sometimes you hear whispers from one or another. They're always there. On the last night of stopped time in your travel, you know that early in the next morning, you guys are going to be arriving back at the city at the pace you've been pushing. V, you're sitting alone just off from the fire for a moment, and those voices are kind of racing through your mind again. Do you feel it? You think it's Gladys talking to you?
Do I feel anything?
You do feel a warmth in your body.
Are you talking about the warmth?
The churning in the blood. He's angry. He wants out. You need to control it. Make a brawn and endurance test for me against a target number of 12. Are you dying, V?
No, I just forgot I had push to talk on.
What'd you get?
I have 4 ranks in endurance. Would I automatically pass a 12?
You would. As the blood churns, you squeeze your hand shut. Here, a part of me. It will help you. It will help protect you from him. And a part of him is coming too. And you gain from the Hemomancy calling, you gain the Signs in Blood feature, and you gain the Hemomantic Strikes feature.
Oh, sweet.
And that puts you at 110.
Nice. I've been saving up to get the Hemomantic Strikes feature.
Well, he just gave it to you. I'm sure that won't come up at all. Do you mention this to anybody?
Probably not.
All right. We fade out as all of you guys are getting back in for the final links of the journey. And as the walls of the great city of Aethergarde, the heart of the modern world, loom in familiarity, gargoyles peeking down, peaks and shingles shining with the early morning light, clouds of the smoke of industry growing from the lower city, while the gleaming gold tops of the central high point, where those most affluent live, gleam most of all, almost peaking, almost reaching up into the clouds with their ambitions. And all of you return home. I think we should take our break. And when we get back, we'll see what comes next. We fade into early... Well, actually, let's say it's evening of Farin Day. You guys arrived late in Ebon Day and returned to the manor. Phil was given the tour, I would assume.
Yes.
And there's a couple scenes I'd like to do. I'd like to start with Cartin. As they've all been settling in, you've been sent on an errand just to head over to the Darklighters Club and check in with them. Make sure nothing came up while all of you were gone. As you enter the club, whispers filter through the private back room to the empty bar room. The sign on the door, made of old wood and printed with faded words, had been turned over to close, but when you rapped on the glass a few times, Adewale's attention was drawn, and the formidable, aged hunter that he is kind of stepped forward, looked through the door, almost blending in with the darkness before opening it for you, recognizing you. Sorry, we were in a meeting. Come in. And he looks up and down the alley as he closes it behind you.
Apologies. Sorry for the lateness of night.
It's better to move at night. We don't need to be seen, not even by the lawgivers or the constables.
I was sent to check in following Jensen's funeral. Is there any news?
We gathered a large contingent of hunters from inside the city and outside, some even from Jensen's lodge, who came into contact with us wanting to help after hearing of his death. We've cleared out the remains of the werewolf nest below. There were some stragglers that we dealt with, but it seems as though most that did not die must have escaped. We're not sure if they're outside the city walls or deeper, down below. We looked for signs of this Morloon. We can only tell you that we did not find the corpse of a large werewolf or the man you described, not even when we reached the pit you told us about.
He was quite formidable. I did not expect him to be there dead.
Either way, we're still patrolling the streets at night. Special attention has been given to the slums and the areas you showed us. But for now, that's all the news I have for you.
Thank you for all you have done. I will inform the rest of the team.
He reaches over the bar and he grabs a bottle, just something, and he hands it to you. Tell them they have our condolences, and you as well.
He takes the bottle from him and nods, and then turns around and just sprints out of the door and just runs all the way back to them.
Prior to this, well, as this is happening in the evening, the tour of the house has reached. Oh, I should put the thing up. Has reached the library. Anybody that's here that we'll just say everyone else that's here is in the scene. V is there as well. Let me see here. The Grand Library. The quiet of the library is soothing, as always. The weight of the world that kind of sets upon all of your shoulders gives way a little bit in here than other places. Phil, you've never seen this many, not scrolls, texts that are bound in leather. You've never seen this many books before in a single place.
Oh, the knowledge in this room. I should very much like to peruse these shelves at some point, Doctor.
Well, by all means, they are here for reading.
This feels like a reward for something.
This is just the books I have found that pique my interest, at least. There are many more. If you are interested, there are more stores with books here. We could acquire some that might pique your interest.
I would very much like to go to a place like that. But meanwhile, and he kind of trails off, and he's going up to spines and kind of putting the finger across spines and reading and the script and stuff. And he is doing that until someone gets his attention again.
Max.
Mm-hmm.
As this is happening, you're kind of off to the side, absent-mindedly playing with your dragon shard, attempting to fit it into a crude monocle bonding that you've put together. You're kind of engineering in your mind how you're going to have to reshape the shard itself to make this work. And the glint through the red glass-like structure of the shard lights up as you randomly aim it at an area in one of the bookcases, just like between a couple of the books.
Max is going to stop and move the shard over that section again and mutter to himself and say, that's here. I thought I checked all of you already. To see what book or object on the shelf is lighting up.
As you walk over that way, you run it up and down several times, and it's just, if it's not aimed just exactly right, it is really easy to miss this crack between the books. A crack that's actually split softly. It would have had to have been carved carefully into the wood. And as you reach in, you pull out what looks like a folded piece of parchment. And when you open it... Oops, sorry. You talk. No,
I was just saying, Max slides the shard back into his pocket and carefully opens the...
And when you open it and you read it to yourself, I sent you what it says.
How exciting.
I know. You love these. The rest of you are the rest of you are just kind of observing him right now.
Silent Jars and witness to conquest, triumphs, echo. What is this? Some sort of riddle?
Is what a riddle?
Doctor, did you know this was here?
Did I know this was here? Narrator?
No, you didn't.
That was here?
Your great uncle Albie used to always talk about how the house had secrets, though. But he also had lost his marbles at a fairly young age.
Where did you find that, Max?
It was just here, between these two rather dusty... in this crack in the wood. You see on the shelf here?
Yes. That is interesting. May I?
Yes, here you are.
I'll take a look at it.
I will put it in the chat, since nobody wants to read it out loud. Well, he halfway did. It was kind of funny the way he did it, actually. I like that.
If somebody says it out loud, that would bring my attention.
He did say, is this some kind of riddle?
Oh. A riddle! I say from the opposite side of the room you remember him being on, because he's just been going around the shelf. I love a good riddle.
Yes, Max seemed to have found this in the wall.
Is the note itself magical?
Yes, the parchment is. You're pretty sure that some kind of enchantment has been placed on the parchment to make sure that the ink never fades.
Neat.
It is of an arcane nature.
Has Carr returned yet?
Yeah, Carr, you come back. You see them poring over this note. And you're gonna...
He looks down at it.
Yeah, you're gonna read it out loud in character for the viewing audience.
Behind silent doors, I stand as witness to the conquest, where triumph's echo lingers in the glass and gold. Though untouched by dust, I gather the past, guarding victories that time cannot hold. What am I? Perhaps I am a trophy case.
Well, that is too obvious, I think. Though untouched by dust, I gather the past. What would not gather dust? behind silent doors. The doors might not be as obvious as we might think. What could serve as doors? Maybe the mind? The heart?
As you guys are pondering this, you hear the main entry open and a voice say, a huffing voice calling out to some of the servants and saying, I'm looking for Maximilian. I'm looking for Maximilian. I need to find him quickly, please.
Max will pop out.
Sounds like Coral to you.
Okay, Max will pop out and say, my dear professor, what can I do for you?
I've had a kind of a major break. Something, well, I know you'd be interested, and I think those friends you were telling me about could maybe help us with. Is there like somewhere where we could meet or plan here? And he's carrying like a bunch of like things, like rolled up parchments under his arms. And he's got like his book bag with him.
Yes, of course. Well, those others I spoke to you of are already convened in the library. If you would like to join us.
A library. Perfect. And he kind of
you'll love this one.
Yeah, he picks up at this, and as he steps in the library, he like completely ignores all of you, and he's like, is this a private collection? This is incredible.
Yes.
I said the same thing.
Perhaps we should discuss some kind of rental agreement I can take out with you. Quite a few of these look at what I need to focus. I need a table. No, something more important. Something that Max and I have been working on. Well, and he kind of looks over at you, Max, and he says, I don't know how much you've told them about our interests. He doesn't want to like overstep or overshare.
Max has already been telekinetically clearing one of the tables while he's been obsessing over the book. And once he finishes, he'll say, the subject has not come up in great detail, but we have discussed my interest in researching magical ailments. Good doctor here, Deracine, has in fact found a cure for lycanthropy. He might be of great help to us.
That's incredible. We've been looking for something of a cure ourselves for a certain illness. I'm sure you've heard of it. It is called Aetherblight. You know that there's kind of like it would be described as like a plague-like disease that overtook a region in Ardenne at one point, and some other areas in nations near there. It's not very much is known about it scientifically. There's a lot of like crackpot information about it, but it's definitely something that like some people think is a serious issue.
Can I find any more of that out once he says that by making a knowledge check?
Yeah, you could. A wisdom knowledge check.
Wisdom knowledge?
Test. It's going to be against a target number of 15 for the highest, for like the most amount of knowledge. Forget about your momentum.
Would this be considered the study of biology or other form of natural science?
I think this would be more like magical knowledge.
Okay. Yeah. No bonuses, but I do get two. This is a 2d12 roll.
Very nice. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a 12 and a 9. That's 21.
Oh, wow. Okay. You have heard of the Aetherblight. It's actually an infection that has crossed over into fairy. So it is something that the Fae consider a pretty serious and invasive issue as well.
I would say this is not a unique problem for this realm. I know of the Aetherblights. I have seen what it can do.
And you two have been working on trying to cure this ailment?
There's select knowledge in the world about this, and we've been trying to collect anything we can. Unfortunately, those that have studied it more intensively, well, many of them have met ill fates themselves, and it's been hard to collect their things. However, this is what I was so excited to tell you. I recently learned, Max, that there was a journey mage who traveled through the lands of Ardenae during the troubling times, when this blight was at its highest, and attempted to investigate it, actually for the Magisterium here, as kind of like an agent. The Magisterium has, as far as I can tell, decided to deny any knowledge of this journey mage. However, I have learned that most of his belongings passed into the collection of a private collector, someone who lives in the upper city by the name of Nathaniel Aldis. He collects artifacts related to the mythos, and it seems as though he has also collected possibly notes on Aetherblight itself. However, he was not receptive to my offers to buy or even temporarily study this information. In fact, he kicked me off his property pretty much immediately.
What does he have to hide?
I think, well, I'm not really sure. He seemed offended by me trying to get my hands on it. Something about his pride and his ownership, private collectors. So anyways, and he looks at you, Max, and he levels a gaze, and then he gives you kind of a mischievous stare. That's why we're going to go to Plan B. We're going to steal it. And he unrolls one of the maps, and it looks like he's managed to try to find like a floor plan for this manor house. And there's something else I noticed. It looked like he was preparing for a large party, probably something he's throwing. Well, I've investigated it enough to know. On the first Aran day of Nostian, for the sun solstice. I think we can take advantage of this situation. He smiles.
Max will say, "Indeed," and he sort of flourishes his cane in a way that causes his cape to sort of wave up behind him a bit and say, "Every good party needs its entertainment."
Now, obviously, we should all be involved in the more intimate plannings, but I have learned enough to know this. I've seen to it that his planned entertainers are, under the weather. And, he will be holding open tryouts for a replacement in 2 days. Additionally, they're looking to hire temporary hands, so it's possible we might be able to get some people in as servants or butlers just for the party. Just to see the inside of the house, while the entertainers are providing a distraction.
My dear Quirrell, you really have thought of everything.
For the record, much of this was inspired by all the shows I've seen you put on.
Well, as you know, it is my deepest wish to be an inspiration to others.
He's gonna smile. He rolls out another map, and then he rolls out some other things like it looks like he's gotten his hands on a copy of a license for this party to happen, as well as like some of the general arrangements he's gotten his hands on one of the invitation cards that was given out to somebody that was then tossed. And so you kind of know like the start time and stuff, and then he's going to crack his knuckles and he's going to smile and he's going to look at Daria and he's going to say, "I do hope you have tea and maybe crumpets. We've got some planning to do."
I could make some coffee if people were willing.
What is a crumpet?
You will find
Oh,
out.
they are most delightful. I shall describe to you every morsel.
I'll head out look for one of my staff to get them to bring tea and crumpets into the library.
All right. And as all of you get to work planning a heist, deciding who will be entertainers and who will be heisters, I think that's where we should end our session for the night, because we'll want Josh in on this. But you're probably going to want to decide how you want to form 2 teams. Obviously, Maximilian will be an entertainer. And Brandon, the NPC Brandon, will be there to help him because he's his like stage boy. But you should probably decide like maybe who should be helping him and who should be heisting.
Josh can help Max with or V can help Max with the thing, because V can take body parts off that move on their own.
True.
I think Car would be.
There's a lot of you who I think could viably help with the entertaining. Just keep in mind with V, they're also probably looking to hire like strong people to carry things. So he's also like super viable getting in as one of the workers. It just depends on like what you guys think strategically is the best team split.
He only needs one hand to lift things, right? He could leave one with me.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of him. I do like the idea of you building a whole show act around slowly cutting his limbs off, and it just works because like he can cut all of his limbs off anyways. But I told Jesse like 2 months ago, I was like, you should be brainstorming like what one of your big shows would be. But whoever's going to be an entertainer with him should also be a part of that brainstorming. Basically, I'm saying you guys should be messaging in the group chat a lot this week. Before our next session.
In the interest of strategy, because you guys don't know my character, he has a 4 in agility. Let's just put it that way. He might not be quite as frail as he looks.
For perfectly legitimate reasons, I'm sure.
Yep. Definitely. Just saying, he is very agile, he's very quick. He might even have a certain stealthy feature. So, for planning purposes, you also know
stealthy feature.
Well, I was thinking... also have a puppet show.
You definitely probably want like Car and another stealthy person on the heist team.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in the interest of maybe being one of the sneaking people.
But you might also want like a bodyguard in case things go wrong, right? Or you might want Dare with you, so that like if you need to like lockpick your way out of something or something like that, he's with you. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you could go with this, and it's entirely possible that if everything falls apart, the 2 teams are going to have to become one team to get out alive.
I was thinking, since we have a copy of an invitation, we could try to get Daria in as a guest, because he can play the noble.
I can fake.
Yeah, that's true. You totally could.
Exactly.
And Brandon doesn't necessarily have to be the only NPC you get involved. Like you might be able to get like one of the like Marie Lapont or like one of the bodyguards to go as like if you have him play the noble as like his bodyguard. There's a lot of options, so you guys should be brainstorming.